What is up, my fellow Dota players? This is Carbonyl Dota, and today I wanted to walk you through some mid content. Yes, mid content from me. Wow. So this game I'm playing Zeus. Every game I go mid right now, I play Zeus. This is like one of my favorite heroes in Dota, and I don't like know the ins and outs of playing mid on a lot of heroes, but Zeus is pretty simple. So if you are not like a mid player and you queue all 5 roles and you get mid, like maybe give Zeus a shot because he's not super hard, right? You just CS with your Q and you kind of play safe, and hopefully that's good enough. It's working for me at high 6K right now. So my last like 5 games of Zeus, I believe I've won 4 of them. And the game I lost was winnable for sure. I kind of got picked off in like the mid to late game, and then my team like was 4 mid, and they just like didn't back up, and then they got wiped. The game was just over. Sorry, let's look at So like these are all from January. So I guess I lost this one, but I've gone 4, 5, 6. I've got 6-2. My last 8 games is mid Zeus right now, and I think one of the keys is the item build. It's very simple and very strong, and I do the same thing every game, and I don't know if it's broken, but it seems really strong. So you just rush Bottle, rush Arcane Boots, rush Kaya, and then rush. I think you buy Shard as soon as it hits 15. If you can start buying Ags. You're gonna go Aghanim's next. So if you have the money, you can buy a component of the Ags before you get Shard. Like this game, I was just like doing really well, and I had a bunch of money, so I was like, okay, I'll just buy the point booster. As long as you just whatever you can do to have the Shard by 15. If the Shard at 15 is all you can afford, that's fine. Don't buy any other components of Ags first. Just get the Shard at 15, and then that's it. So then you go Ags, and then after Ags, you go like whatever item you think you need for the game. This game, I went like bots Aether. I went bots because they had a lot of split pushing with the Prophet and the Enigma Eidolons. I don't usually go bots first, but this game I was just like dealing with a lot of split push, which Zeus can do. He's great at it. Some games you might need a 4-staff. Some games you might need a Yules. Some games you might just be able to like go like Octarine or Refresher or something. Maybe you can upgrade a Sanjit Kaya. Kind of depends on the game. But that's the build. Really straightforward. And let me just walk you through, I'm not a good mid player. I like understand the concepts, what you're supposed to do in terms of like be at the rune timings, shove in the lane if it's hard, play away from the enemy if you're scared. Don't like over rotate, play within your limits. Like those are the things that I am comfortable doing, and that's how I can do okay at mid. Like I'm not like a really good 6K, 7K mid that can like do this on like every hero though. So me playing only one hero is playing within my limits. So I'll just kind of walk you through how this game goes, give you guys some insights on the thought processes that I use as the game progresses. So it's really important to like here I like didn't kill his wave very fast, and he had used a spell. I used like 1 Q, I think. It's important to not let this double up. So here I'm going to start auto attacking pretty fast, and then I use a Q to get multiple CS. I do miss 1 there. And basically in the mid lane, you want to like not trade a lot unless they like overcommit. If you can right click them a lot, you should. Like if they are like a Tusk is a decent example, like a Pango. I played lane against Pango and I was just clicking them a lot. And basically as Zeus, I try to click them a lot and otherwise focus on CS, using my Q when I have to. Like ideally you get them all with your last hits, but like obviously that doesn't always happen. Don't go crazy on the starting items. I usually only get 2 branches and a Fairy Fire to get my bottle fast. And just be ready to react if this guy tries to go on you, basically, once he like gets levels. So you'll see he kind of tries to do that, and it doesn't really work. Here I have to, I'm like setting up my CS really bad, so I have to use my mana on all the CS, which kind of sucks, but that's why we got our early bottle, and that's why we get the bottle runes. And then this guy makes a really low skill play, which, I don't know what he's doing. But sometimes your opponents will just do this, or the 6K MMR. This guy just didn't go for the runes, so I just got 2 free runes. So that was cool. He should have just dragged the creep waves like over to the rune and gotten it. Like I don't know if he was like afraid of something. I'm not really sure. So we got 2 free runes. Make sure you go for that if you can. Don't just ignore the runes. Always backpack your branches if you can. Like if you have the brain space to do it. Just that little extra efficiency on the mana. And here I do this a lot, as Zeus specifically. I push in the lane, and then go get the 3-minute bounty runes. Here, I was gonna do it, and then I realized my boots were coming on the courier, and I was like, okay, well, this will be way faster if I get my boots. And then I decided to wait for my boots. This guy kind of goes on me, but I'm gonna do the same thing here, even though I have a little less mana and I can't push it out quite as fast. I'm gonna shove it out here. Okay, I'm gonna take my time here. Oh, this guy goes on me. All right, I do eventually go get this bounty rune, I think. Or that was my intent, was basically get the boots and then go run and get the bounty. It's really helpful on Zeus to get that extra bottle refill in between the minutes. In between 3 and 4 minutes. Okay, so I don't get it then, right? I didn't get it before, but I got this rune, and then I'm going to transition that into the bounty. And if it's not here, right, it's like not a big deal. But I knew they had like a silencer, and like I hadn't seen him like come over. So I was like, I think it'll be there. And this just sets us up really nice. I mean, we're, you know, I'm not like owning this Tuscan CS, but I'm just playing my own game, getting regen, right? Staying at full resources, not like feeding to this guy. I do have to be very careful when he hits 6. I also have to be careful about using my heavily jump like I just did, because that's like kind of my escape mechanism. So I kind of use it dangerously there. But luckily I was like under my tower. But if I do that like in not a safe spot, there's nothing I can do. So we got the early mana boots, just get these as fast as possible. And then here my team like super rotates, which is really cool. This won't always happen in your games, right? You just have to play within your limits and go for like the rune. Like as a Zeus against a Tusk who's 6, like I would just, if no teammates show up, I would just go for the one that he doesn't go for, right? That's it. Team like kind of chases here, but I'd use my ult here. I don't know why I walked. Oh, I walked over here for the rune that was coming, because all that stuff happened like way before the rune. This chase was like really dumb, really really dumb. No reason to do this. Don't do this. Overplayed for sure. I should have just been happy getting the rune and going back to farming. Honestly, I should have gotten the rune, used the bottle charges because they're already kind of low, just cleared one more wave, and then gone back to base. That's what I should have done, right? Just want to play within our limits. Don't overforce it. Like, this hero gets so strong later. Like, you don't need to force plays when you're level, like, 6, 7. It's just not what you need to do. And then here, they have a ward down, and I get dove under the tower. The silencer is standing here, and I feed. So, I didn't really know they had a ward, and then the Tusk came from, like, out of vision. So, good play from them. You know, it sucks, but, like, I'm not too unhappy, you know? It like, sucks, but it's like, what can you do? You know, I don't think I, like, crazy misplayed. It was just, like, really unfortunate. Maybe because the silencer was just standing there kind of aggressively, I should have keyed into, like, oh, this is weird, and then, like, you know, just been in the trees, like, back here or something. It was hard because I had no vision, though, at that point. I think they dewarded. Here, this is kind of a psycho deward for me. You have to know, right? Like, this Tusk can't kill me. And, like, here, I'm like, I get hit by this MP ult, and I'm like, crap, I'm dead. I literally thought I was dead here. And luckily, the Tusk was just non-mid in time. Checking for wards. I like taking an earlier point in W just to scout for wards and stuff. I think it's a little bit more damage, too, if you're trying to, like, max out your damage. I think I saw, like, 9 on Tundra, like, go, like, the 4-4-1 build. Like, if you think you can, like, if you think you're going to be able to, like, get some spells off and not just, like, need to be, like, heavily jumping around all the time, it's a really high damage build. Here the guy had haste, unlucky. It's kind of a psycho. But here I use all my mana, and I'm usually just pretty happy at this point to, like, go to base or, like, go find a bounty. If there's no bounty, I would just go to base. There's a bounty coming up, so I thought I'd go for the bounty. Here I, like, do some really dumb pathing nonsense here, which doesn't make any sense. But I do get their carry Nature's Prophet, which is really nice. I think I maybe could have gotten all 3 of them if I had, like, just path better to start with. Unfortunately, their Tusk shows up. What can you do? And this guy just does threatening, but here I've got my Kaya, right? We have done the build, right? We're not crazy ahead or anything. Well, we're having a very good game because we got those 2 kills just now. But we've died a couple times, but it's, like, not a big deal, right? We're progressing our items. We're not going for any other weird items. Like, okay, you don't need a wand on Zeus. Like, unless you're against, like, a bat, which I was the other day. I got a stick. Like, you don't need a wand. Like, you're not near where the spells are happening a lot. You're, like, cleaning up with your ult, or you're coming in and you're, like, using 2 spells and, like, chunking them down really fast. Like, you're not constantly in these skirmishes, I found, the way I play it at least. So I just don't go for the wand unless I need it for, like, the first, like, 2 minutes, right? If they're basically, if I'm using, like, a bat or an SF, maybe I'll buy one. SF's like, probably not either, because I really just want to rush these other items and not play the lane. So I think going wand on Zeus is not good. I think it's a waste of gold. I think you should just rush these other items, like I said. These just let you farm. Like with the Kaya plus the Arcane Boots, like, you just have a ton. And the bottle, like if you're refilling this bottle once in a while, or just flying out like one clarity once in a while, you really mana sustain really well with just these items, especially if you get a lucky neutral item. And then I don't go nulls either. I think nulls are really bad. I don't think the max mana makes a difference. I don't think the mana regen helps enough. Like I said, this is like kind of enough. The bottle, Kaya, Arcanes, if you get any sort of neutral item gives you mana, and you fly out like one clarity every like 3 minutes, like you're fine. You're literally fine. You don't need nulls for the mana regen. It just slows down your other items, which you can hit incredibly fast. Like, what do I hit my Ags timing at this game? Ags and Shard this game for me at freaking 20 minutes. Like 20 minutes Ags Shard Kaya is like, it's like really good, right? And it's plenty of mana. Here we go, pretty aggressive with the Marcy, their Nature's Prophet. Like, he's a strong push hero now, but you know, he can't like, it's like dangerous, right? If we're gonna show up. Here I believe I do stick around too long and they dive. Oh no, they stick around too long. Yeah, they go on our Kunkka, but our Hoodwink comes back and they just do not have what it takes to kill us, which is really cool. So this like really sets us up. And like, you don't always need to be in these engagements as Zeus. Let me talk about why I'm here in the first place. Because like, to me, it's like, why would I come here in the first place? So I think what happened is I respawned and I saw this Prophet and I was like, this is kind of a psycho TB by me, I'll be real. But like, I was like, I want to defend this tower from the Prophet, and I can with Arc Lightning, and hopefully my team helps me if they all come and dive. That's my thought process here. If you like have like the knowledge that nobody on your team is like gonna come help you, then you should definitely not do this TP. Like if you know they're not gonna come, and if you hope they come and they don't, like that's life, you know. So that's why I'm here in the first place. And then they just like kind of overextend. They do bring everybody, but it's just not quite enough. I don't know if they like misplayed. I'm not gonna look at it too closely. The Pudge isn't level 6 yet, which probably makes a difference. Enigma didn't have Black Hole still. Yeah, still on cooldown for quite a while. So they just really didn't have enough to like make that happen. So now this is why we're having such a good game, like the 20-minute Ag Shard. And this is why I have so much money. Here I thought I was dead. I was like, Prophet's gonna TP on me, and then I saw him. And I was like, okay, it's not gonna TP on you. So we're just going to go base after clearing up that last wave there. We're doing super good on the net worth. And, you know, I'm not doing anything, like, super fancy. I'm not playing really aggressive. Like, I'm mostly making defensive plays on my own side of the map, right? Defending the towers. That one aggressive play I made was up here, and it was awful, right? Zeus kind of just wants to be more defensive and show up and, like, dump out a bunch of damage if they, like, overextend. And even defensively, like, I think I get later... so you saw earlier I got picked off, like, in the jungle by the Tusk, you know? So it's hard. So basically this phase in the game, I'm just looking to get my Ags, get my Shard, and like clean up waves for my team. That's really what I'm doing. So here I walked bottom, and I'll play really safe. Like I thought somebody was in the area, I'm scouting, I see the Pudge. My team does something really not smart here, where they go on the Enigma, but there is a Pudge here. So like, maybe they didn't see the Pudge, right? But I cannot go help with a Pudge here. If they had gone on the Pudge, I could help kill the Pudge. Like 100%, I'm like, yeah, let's kill the Pudge. But if they're going to go on this guy here, like, you just have to understand that, like, you can't run past a Pudge solo, so I don't. You know, I just sit here. And my team's probably like, why isn't our Zeus coming to help? But it's because there was a Pudge there, right? And then their whole team shows up. They do get the Enigma, so it's not the end of the world. And I see they're all here in the jungle, so I get out. Checking for wards. Not sitting around and hitting that camp, right? If that Tusk continues to run at me, if I'm like hitting that camp, it's just like I'm just dead. They're kind of like diving, but I've already decided to get out of that part of the map. I have a TP up if I need it. So I'm going to shove in the mid lane here. And I'm thinking about stacking. I was thinking about doing it for myself, and then I realized my Clinks asked me to stack Ancients, so I'm like, oh yeah, I'll just stack my Clinks here. So getting some good stacks off. And see, we're going to have our Shard at 15 minutes. Unfortunately, I get gone on here, but Heavenly Jump, good ability. Okay, I still die, but it causes them to like way overextend, and my whole team is here. So great bait from me. I don't know if it's that good, because like I'm worth more than the Tusk, but you know, it's not bad. At best, it is like even. Here, I was begging my Kunkka to like not go here, because this is what Zeus wants to do. Zeus wants to like sit down here in the safe part of the map and clean this up. And I was telling my Kunkka, please don't go down here, and he just goes down here. So I'm like, okay, I gotta do something else. So I just walk out to the jungle. I was gonna TP bottom. Zeus doesn't mind doing that because you contribute globally with your Thunder Gods, so like you can kind of make these weirder TPs to the bottom part of the map as Radiant, or to the top side of the map as Dire, and it's like not as bad as it is on like other mid heroes. So here I'm just checking for wards. I don't see any of them on the map. They could have been doing a smoke or something, but based on this lane being out here and us having this ward, I wasn't really too worried. Also, they've kind of been dying a lot, so like I didn't think they were going to be trying to like push the issue here. Like that, my read of like what they were capable of doing was not that good. And here I literally baited. My whole team's behind me, and I'm like, oh, all right, I'll just go this wave. Like they'll definitely go on me, and this tusk takes the bait. So I literally tapped to my team's chat. It's like, easy bait, guys, easy bait. Pudge invis. I pinged that out to my team, telling them budget is coming. Marcy gets gone on. At this point, we got our shard. Clear wave super fast. We're still just in farm mode, right? I TP bottom. Happy to clean up this pressure from the Prophet. They don't have like a Tusk who's gonna come punish this or anything. Like Prophet himself can't kill me at this point, at this phase, or maybe he can if he like sprouts me. Heavenly Grace or Heavenly Jump out of Sprout is like kind of doesn't always work, because like you have to be moving. Here we go for the Natures, which is like kind of psycho, and then their Tusk is here. As soon as I see the Tusk, I'm like, I'm out. You have to like realize, right? This is no longer a play. This is like, if you survive, great. That's the situation we're in now, and so I just run. I just run. I'm worried Nature's Prophet's gonna like TP here and sprout me, so I'm just out of here. And you just have to have that like panic button, especially as like a hero like Zeus, right? Like if you see like heroes that can threaten you, you just gotta leave. So here I'm really worried that they're gonna be behind the tower again, which they are. Get a really good scout off on the Silencer, who like I thought Pudge would be here, which is like a little dangerous, but he was not. Silencer was there, which I think was a little crazy. So just make sure you're scouting with your W right, having an idea of like what the opponent might be doing. Like they're playing more aggressively than I think they are capable of doing here. And here with the Kunkka Orchid, I don't have to worry about like going in on this guy. So this like really sets us up to have a really nice game. But you can see this Prophet's having a good game, and the Tusk and Enigma are not like out of this game. Like just guys know this isn't like a complete stop. Where's the graphs? Yeah, it's pretty even up until like this point, I guess. Like 20-ish minutes. Oh, a couple more minutes. Pretty even, and then we do start to get a big lead. The Clinks like just never dies. Our carry picks off their carry there, so the game definitely starts to tilt in our favor after this. But still important to show you what good play looks like, because like you can throw games of Zeus, as my one game where I lost like demonstrates. Like it wasn't completely my fault, but like if I hadn't died, the whole sequence that led to my team all feeding wouldn't have happened. So want to show you guys like kind of like how I look to play the map. So I'm playing away from my team. I want to look to have a TP up at all times. I don't know why I don't have a TP here. I guess I was just focused on getting my Ags here. And here, I don't do this a lot, but if nothing is happening, and like a fight just happened, right? So like another fight's probably not going to happen like right away. I'm not going to need this Nimbus right away. You can split push through your Nimbus. It's good. Like you shouldn't always do it, because like oftentimes you just want to have it ready in case something does happen. But if you know you're not going to need it, it's super solid to just throw it down in a side lane just for the split push potential. Just throw it down on a full creep wave, and you know, it helps. It's not amazing, but it helps. So this phase with the Ags, Kaya, I'm really just looking to kind of like jungle and clean up waves. If there's no waves to clean up, I'll just jungle, because as Zeus, you're not running with your team. You're not like a Void Spirit, right? You can't just like lead the charge. You contribute globally very effectively, and meanwhile, you don't want to get picked off. You getting picked off while your team's out doing stuff, very bad, because then your team gets collapsed on and you cannot help them because you're dead. So you mostly want to stay off map and jungle, or clean up safer waves near your towers. So that is how I will play, and it pretty much works all the time unless I extend further out than I should. Here there's like a Tusk standing mid, and I'm like not looking. I think I get really lucky. I don't know if he solo kills me. He does have a Deso, but I did take my 250 health talent because they had a Tusk. I was like, okay, if I can survive this guy's initial jump, like that's like good. Even if I end up dying, if his initial jump doesn't kill me, like that's pretty useful. So usually, otherwise, sometimes I even skip the talent. Like if I don't think I need the health, I'll usually skip the talent, because the -4 heavenly jump cooldown is like, it's like good, but it's not like, I don't think it's better than like maxing your lightning bolt. I don't know, unless you're like being like giga active as Zeus, which is like, it's not really what this build sets up, right? Like Aether kind of allows you to be more active, but like kind of slows you down too. Like this Kaya is like so important. Here this Pudge like jukes everything. God, and he dies anyways, but what can you do? We have a Kunkka. But this TP I made, I think is important because my team wants to do Roshan. I cleared the mid wave, right? I don't need to do anything about this catapult. And I'm reacting to this pressure that they put on. This is really important to clear for my team. And I use my... Oh, I thought I used my ult there. I didn't. Sometimes I use my ult when my team's doing the Roshan. Here they had 2 people dead, so I wasn't really worried about it. And my team is killing it super fast. And then here I just reconnect to my team. Just in case they were going to contest. Like, you do want to be in the area to start the fights sometimes. Especially if you, like, think you'll be the last one there. It's like, if you're coming from an angle where you can't get gone on, it's not bad to be there. Oftentimes, there's just a lot of more effective things you could be doing, like clearing through jungle super quick, or cleaning up your lanes. So like here, I'm looking to clean up bottom a little bit, but I do see the Tusk hanging out there, so I'm not really looking to TP while the Tusk is there. Team cleans him up. I don't really know what he's doing, but I am just happy to be safely in a lane. And like I think the enemy team could have organized some more ganks against me for like playing like this, but I generally, when I play like this, I do try and do it pretty safely. Use the information I have available to me on the map, and I will like just randomly TP out if I don't see the enemy for a while. For neutral items, I think that Fairy's Trinket is the best. Philosopher's Stone is decent. Also something like Arcane Ring is really good, just something that like continually replenishes your mana. I think those are good. I think Fairy's Trinket is probably the best of the tier 1s and 2s combined. Sometimes the like what's it called? The one that gives you Spell Amp and Magic Resist. I can't remember the name of that neutral item right now. But sometimes that one's okay, depending on if like they have some sort of like damage nukes that they're somehow like getting onto you. Like generally you want to like just not be being hit by spells in the first place. That one can be okay. Like if you just want some Spell Amp. Especially if you like don't have like a Fairy Trinket or something. So here we're getting some more stacks off for the Clinks. And we've got our Boots of Travel so we can respond to their split push. Like I explained earlier. Generally trying to stay like behind my team. This is really funny. He got a huge black hole in his team, so he's not ready to participate. Oh, that feels bad as the Enigma player when you get a huge black hole in your team, just like not paying attention. What can you do? 6k teammates, right? Here my Clinks is going Psycho, so I throw down a Nimbus. Really easy though. You can see like I'm playing pretty safe, and this is how I play all my Zeus games. And I'm just telling you, it just works. Like this just works for me right now. I think the item build just enables this because your global contribution is so strong. Like this is an extra what, 8% damage, right? 8% damage plus the 8% spell amp, right? Or does it show it on here? Spell amp 8%. Okay, but it doesn't count the static field. I think technically this 8% spell amp boosts the static field by 8% of 8% or something. So you just do a ton of damage and you clean up waves and you get massive. You know, the problem with Zeus in general, I think, is that he's liable against certain matchups to just like get owned in lane and get very little farm. So, but if you play the way I play, where you're just kind of focused on the creep, shoving out the lane, getting a bunch of runes, and like regenning and getting to these like main items, the Kaya mana boots, then I think you can kind of mitigate that to some extent, unless you really just get clapped like the first like 4 levels of the mid wave. In which case there's not a whole lot you can do. You just have to try and recover. But like once you get these items, you just jungle safely, globally use your ult, like maybe show up to fights, like defensive fights, just dump damage while having good positioning, and it just feels really strong. So I recommend you guys try this if you're, like I said in the beginning, if you are not really a mid player, but you know sometimes you need to play mid, or you just want to try out something from the mid that's not like too difficult, right? Like these spirit heroes can be really hard to like balance like farming and contributing because you need to be with your team versus like a Zeus. I love Zeus because you don't need to be with your team. I love playing this playstyle. I mean, some people could call it like kind of a grief, right? But like, look at this impact I'm able to have globally. Like, I cancel this Nature's Prophet TP. I scout him with my ult, cancel his TP. We forced the BKB, and he died anyways. So, it just feels really good. You can have really high impact. And I'm gonna wrap the video up here. We just continue to go on. Like, this game, I think, is almost over. Yeah, this game's almost over. But yeah, I highly recommend this item build, this playstyle. For the talents, just to cover these at the end, the 30 movement speed after Heavenly Jump is just good if you know you're going to be like running away from people. Like if they have like super scary heroes that if they get on top of you, you're dead. Like Pudge, Tusk in this game. pretty good. It's pretty good in most games. I have gone +1 heavenly jump target before, but it's mostly when you're like kind of owning and you just want to do more damage and you're like not scared, right? You're like jumping towards them, right? They're like trying to get away from you. So 15 talent, left one if you're owning, right one is better for the most part. The 10 one I talked about, but 250 health is good if they have some crazy burst that they're going to try and jump you with. Otherwise, the -4 second heavenly jump cooldown I think is a little more utility effective. But like I said, I would max my lightning bolts or my heavenly jump if I max lightning bolt first before taking that talent if that's the one I wanted. At 20, I believe the lightning bolt mini stun is just better. +100 Thunder God's Wrath damage is like like as the game progresses, the utility of this is more of the vision, not the damage. So if you're like giga owning and you want to like rush a refresher and like one shot people from your fountain, like go the right one. But in any other situation, I would go the left one. It's just way more impactful because it works on your Nimbus too. The Nimbus casts a lightning bolt, so the lightning bolt mini stun works with the Nimbus, just way more effective. And then at 25, I think the 325 AoE lightning bolt talent is really strong. In terms of like team fights, I think it's better. And then in terms of clearing waves, it's just as good as the +100 arc lightning damage. I don't remember what the old 25 talent used to be, because he always had the arc lightning damage increase, and I think that one used to be the better one. I don't remember what the other option was. But now I think because the +100 arc lightning damage makes you shred creep waves, right? You just cast 2 Qs on any creep wave that aren't mega creeps, and they just die. But now with the AoE lightning bolt, you can do the same thing. You just use 1 Q and 1 W, and then like the whole creep wave's like dead. So I think the AoE lightning bolt is just better. Rush the shard, must buy shard at 15 minutes. It's absolutely required if you don't forget it. I guess is the only thing. Make sure it's like in your build. And then the build is just Mana Boots Kaya. Don't bother with the Knolls. Don't bother with the wand unless you're against like specifically like a Bat Rider or like, I don't know, some sort of bristle or something. I don't know. Otherwise, don't bother with the wand. It just slows you down. Bottle, boots, arcane boots, Kaya, shard, Ags, whatever you need from there. Sometimes it'll be Aether, sometimes it'll be a Yule, sometimes it'll be a Force. Don't skip out on these defensive items. Sometimes you can even kind of go the E-Blade route if it's like works defensively, right? It's a little greedy, but if the person killing you over and over is like a PA, like you can go E-Blade. And it's kind of a good mix of offense and defense. Later on in the game, I'll generally try and get around the Octarine Refresher. Hex is surprisingly good on this hero if you can manage to fit it in somewhere later in the game, though. Aeon Disc, don't sleep on that if you're getting something like a Zeus, something like a Legion Commander or something. Aeon Disc can be really good. Lincoln's typically doesn't cut it on this hero. Like, it just... Like if they're getting on top of you, like eventually they'll have a way to cancel the Lincolns if you're afraid of the duel, or I don't know. I don't find Lincolns that effective, so Aeon Disc is a consideration for sure. And that is my mid-Zeus guide. This is the only hero I know how to play, but like I said, I'm 6-2 on it right now. Feels really strong. I just kind of play the same way every time, and it's working. It's working really well. I'm winning games at high 6K with it, even though I'm not like a mid player. So let me know if you have any questions. Hopefully you learned a lot. Play some Zeus. Good hero. Catch you next one. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, sub to the channel. And if you want to be coached by me, check the link in the video description. You can join my Discord there, and there's all the information there on how to sign up.